Well, hello and welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the internet and welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio, and I'm back again today to do another review for you. Today, it's Borderlands. It's not a great one. Let's get into it. Alright, so today we are talking about Borderlands the movie. Been waiting for this one a long time. I've actually played all the Borderlands games, 1 and 2 and all the expansions and the pre-sequel. I've even played 3, although I didn't like that one as much. So I was looking forward to this movie. I was looking forward to it like 5 years ago when they announced it. I think it was in the can since like 2021 and they just kind of took it out and finished it up. And boy, it could have definitely used some more time in there. This is not a great movie. And I mean, don't worry if you're like, well, I'm not sure if the plot will make sense with the game. Don't worry. There's barely a plot. Let me just go through the whole thing real quick here for you. This movie opens up with Lilith, played by Cate Blanchett, who's way too old. Even though this is from 3 years ago. Even then, still way too old. She's, got a lot of makeup on. She's got the red hair. She's like a bounty hunter. Lilith is the firehawk in the game, if you're not familiar, so she's quite powerful. But yeah, so she's a bounty hunter, catches a bounty, he's going to bring it in, and then this guy, Atlas, says, I got to get you to get my daughter. And she's like, well, I'm busy. So he shoots her bounty. I guess she could take it in dead or alive, and says, now you're free. So she's like, only works for money. You get a couple scenes, you kind of get it. She's a real badass. She is in the game, too. Lilith's crazy powerful. She's Siren. I used her all the time. Roland was my favorite, though, with the turret. So anyway, then she goes off to Pandora, the land of vaults and things like that she used to be from a long time ago. There's a whole backstory coming up. So when she gets there, she has to find Tina, who's his daughter, and she ends up running into Claptrap, played by Jack Black. Now in the game, Claptrap is annoying, and he's always cracking jokes and kicking around and saying random things. He does dances and things like that. I like Claptrap. You can actually play as him in the pre-sequel. He's interesting and fun. He's all right in this. He's a little bit annoying. I don't know why they didn't go with the original voice, but Jack Black, it's all right. Like, he made me laugh at least twice. But overall, not super great. Him kind of like pooping out bullets and everything at one point. But yeah, anyway, he leads Lilith off to where Tina is. And when we finally get to Tina, she's there with Krieg. He's like a bandit guy turned good with like a mask. I think he speaks not at all in this movie. He's more like a bodyguard dog to Tina. And Tina is the chosen one. So only a daughter of Iridium can open the vault on Pandora. And so she was cloned, made by Atlas. So it's not really his daughter. More like his property, I guess he thinks, like he made her. So then Lilith decides that, they didn't actually kidnap her. They were protecting her. And Roland is there too. Now in the game, Roland is an ex-Crimson Lance soldier. He's a beast. And in this, it's Kevin Hart. All 5'5" of him. In the game, you could throw a turret down that was so big it would hold off enemies. That turret was bigger than Kevin. And it's not present here. He is nothing like his character from the game. He's short. It almost feels like he's in Jumanji. Like he's just playing the character in this. Like he's reading the lines or something. I didn't like his performance. It was kind of fun to see him here and there, but a lot of the fights, he's like shooting and then he's shooting at an enemy, but then you'll see the screen of the enemy. Then you'll see the screen of him. They're never together. And I don't know. It wasn't great, and he's way too small to play Roland. It's just completely miscast, just like Lilith. And Tiny Tina doesn't really look like Tina. She's got the rabbit ears, and Krieg just seems like a brute. So they have to go find, I guess, the vault now. So they go and get Tannis, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, also way too old for this role. And she acts like one of those Galaxy Quest aliens, the Thermians or whatever, the ones who take everything literally and don't get sarcasm. Well, I feel like that's the kind of role she's got here. Or she's just reading the lines like it's just deadpan. I didn't like her performance at all. I do like her, but not in this. Just like Cate Blanchett, I love her as Galadriel, but just this didn't feel right for her. It felt like a weird... Like Furiosa did this earlier on in the year with Anya Taylor-Joy and did it better. So they have to all go on a little thing, and then they have to go find the vault on Pandora. So when they actually find the vault, Tiny Tina, who's the key to everything, and the daughter made of Iridium, isn't the right one. Oh no, it's actually Lilith. She's the real key to everything. So she then becomes the Firehawk grows a big fire shield. Atlas comes down. There's a big fight. She burns and destroys everyone. And then there's like a kind of, they do get in the vault. There's some neat technology and some space stuff flying around in there. And she basically leaves them in there, get eaten by a giant, like, tentacle monster thing. That is kind of from the game. That's from the first, I think it's the first Borderlands. So there is a tentacle monster thing. A few moments in it were like, yeah, this is kind of similar to the game. They got vehicles at one point. That was one of my most disappointing moments. Oh, and sorry, just a backtrack there. And that's the end of the plot. The movie just ends there. It feels like a side quest more than anything. But they do get in vehicles at one point. And like I said, that was when I was really disappointed. I wanted to see Scooter, though. Come on now, catch a ride. Come on, catch a ride now, you hear? He wasn't there. I was like, we're going to get a performance from him. We did get the guy with the bullets. No refunds. I like him. So he was in it, but just very, very briefly. And they didn't have Brick in there, the big guy from the first one, or Mordecai with his bird. I would love to see that. He was one of my favorite characters to use too. So, but everybody was miscast. Everybody was either too old or just seemed uninterested. Everyone acted like a plank of wood. Like they just got the script 2 days ago and just finished a first read through. And they're like, yeah, we'll redo this later. But then later just never came. They just went with that run through of it. So overall, not great. Very boring. But like I said, the action is the worst. It's PG-13. There's no blood. And I watched Wolverine and Deadpool recently. The action in this is really toned down. Like I said earlier, you'll see some guns shooting off. Then it will cut over to where the bad guys are kind of dying. But they're rarely on the screen together. Like with that visceral action, you feel the impacts of the punches and the bullets. Like, it's just not done well. It's a slog. It's like an hour and a half long. Feels like it's 2.5 hours. I feel like I'm still in that theater somewhere watching this. It's still going on. And speaking of the action in this, I gotta say, the CGI is not great. It's like TV movie level quality. It doesn't look good. It looks like it was just, like I said, placeholder for real CGI that was going to come later, but never did happen. The explosions and like I said, when you watch it, you can almost see the green screen. You know, there's no actual screen of green you see, but you know that they're standing in front of them with some of the explosions and things. So not great overall. Really poor CGI. So I mean, hopefully, like I said, in the video game, the action is great. You see lots of blood exploding and so many different guns. They really should have focused on that. Like the big thing about the first couple of Borderlands was all the different guns you could get, and in this, it wasn't like they didn't focus on a lot of the weapons and things like that. And like I said, Roland wasn't going to carry the turret. That would have been bigger than him. He wasn't carrying that on his back in the battle. It's not great. I don't recommend it to anyone. I'm a big fan of the games. There's a couple of Easter eggs in name only mostly, but you do get a few. I did laugh a couple of times at Claptrap. There were a few moments that I thought were okay, but overall, I couldn't recommend this to anyone. There are about 3 times in total I laughed and smiled on this, so I'm going to give this a 3 on the odometer. Not a very good movie. Not one I'd recommend you go see. If you're a fan of Borderlands, you're not missing much by skipping this. It's not a great effort. Maybe they'll come back and do another one years later, and maybe they'll just cast some people that look way more like the role and are a lot closer to the age, and then we'll get a real good Borderlands movie. Or maybe an animated one. That'd be cool to see. I'd like to see something like that because I do love the property. But anyways, thanks so much for listening this far, guys. Really appreciate that. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.